It'll never be the same. I was in Dallas for my weekend. The winter weekend, I was in Dallas, Texas. Plano is a suburb of Dallas. I was there with a Yidat Tzaddik, Rabbi Zakon, Chaim Belina, a Taida Heilige. And it was such a pleasure to be there. He has an olam over there. Now I'm going to tell you one story that's blowing me over. I can't get over it. There's this fellow with long hair, 32 years old. A little long, nothing terrible, not crazy, but, that's the matzav. And he was never in yeshiva. What a kiddush Hashem. It was kedai, just the thing, just can't get over it. And I asked him, so he told me he's about to get engaged, 32 years old, And I said, can you tell me about the girl? First thing he tells me, she's God-fearing. Then meet this, and he started going. Look what's going on. A Melkana Boychik from Plano, a Midbar Shmama. How did that happen? He never learned in yeshiva. If he doesn't know alphabet, does he know? The first thing, he's 32 years old, he wants to get married. He met a girl. The first thing he tells me is she's God-fearing. No. Why is Mashiach here? A thing like this could happen. Is that America? This is America. This is race. The first thing, he doesn't know doesn't know what pasuk, I don't know where he's holding. He never learned yeshiva. Sweet like sugar. There's a lot of love going on over there. They out of town, they hug and they kiss and it's a tired of sweeties. Those guys are not normal. Okay, because they got a hold of me. And they checked me for it. Thank you very much, Rabbi Yafi, for not reminding me. I'm joking. I'm steiging. I don't need it. I'm already like Torah anytime. Thank you, Torah anytime. Kavash Kocha Pratis and Kala Lashon. Thank the Rabbeinu Shalom himself. Now they came over to me. They said, Rabbi Mendel, you have to understand that ladies need to be addressed. You can't the ladies, you have to the ladies. No. The ladies. So I told them like this. So some of these people are just becoming from. And there's a lot of women's liberation business. What are we doing the other side of the Mechitza? What is this? Discrimination. Women's rights. They're going to be marching soon. They want to vote. Lady, remember I don't remember, but it was a whole issue. Ladies, it's a big thing today. You go, lady. You know what I said? I got up and I said like this. I said, I was learning this, the Mishkan, the tabernacle. Anybody ever heard of a tabernacle? Tabernacle. That's what we call it, the Mishkan, but the tabernacle. The tabernacle needs, it says, Acharei HaMishkan. Acharei HaMishkan is the what is it, the Urias, it's flowing over there, the drapes over there, the roof is like a tent, but it's made out of wool, and that flows to the ground, and Acharei HaMishkan, so the Gemara says in Shabbos, like a stately, the Rabbeinu Hirsch adds a stately woman, chash of a lady walking in the street, it flows behind her. That Gemara in Shabbos is not as well known as the Rashi that says in front of the Mishkan is like, what do you call it? The Urias is like a kalat tznuah. It bends over like a kalat tznuah. What's going on here? Men's liberation. All they talk about is ladies around here. I'm joking. That I say here. I didn't say that damn. No, I'm not starting up with them. They know it's good for me. But us, have a kasha. Who? They're watching me? Oh, wait till they find out my true colors. No, I'm joking. But anyway, what's going on here? Now, a lady belongs at home. What is she doing? The Holy of Holies. That's Achari Mishkan is Kodesh Kadoshim. Ladies, here we go. As soon as you walk in, it's a kala tzlua. It's the kakala. And it's in the back, Kodesh Kadoshim, Yom Kippur, you don't even go in there. Only the Kohen Gadol and only the high priest, and only on the Day of Atonement, on Yom Kippur. And he goes in there, the ladies, wherever you go, there's ladies. What's going on here? So I said like this, don't ladies belong at home? What are you doing here? Holy of holies. So I said like this, I'm not getting into what's really going on here, but it's just to give you a little taste what's going on with these Jews when it comes to ladies. The ladies are not a joke. Far from it. Now I'm going to tell you what I want to say. I didn't say it to them. You know what pshat is? Respecting women is Kodesh Kadosh. Respecting, Rashi says that the Kohen Gadol wore an ephod. An ephod was, hey, my Gabayim are both here. Thanks a million for shoveling. He took pictures of me. I got such covered with I came in with Chashiv Gabayim. I wondered, it's an hour before the plane goes, and suddenly, how are you going to get on the plane? They got hot, both of them. Hey, where'd you pop up from? I know the real pshat, why they came along. Because the Gemara says that Avram Avinu, it says by him, Adam Chashiv is not allowed to go alone. He has to have two people with him. So that's the pshat. So you have to have, and it said Avram Avinu is on the way to the Akedah. So he had to have two people, especially, going to the Akedah. So when I went to Dallas to my Akedah over there, it's a joke. Now I'm going to tell you something. It's not a joke, this stuff. I advise everybody, go for the Bizyanis. I had covered Malachim, we know that. But whatever, they wanted me to speak over there, it was someone else, a relative of mine, who's a master speaker, and they were hoping maybe I could be like him. The pressure's on without that. It's pressure, big time. What if you didn't speak to them? And especially me, I don't know how to talk to these people. I'm not used to this. You're going to say the wrong thing, you blew it. So you got to jump into the fire. Al Kiddush Hashem. I'm serious. You give away your covet? That's what it was between you and me. Don't think I didn't have a ball. I had a blast. No, didn't we have fun? And the food was great. You know what I said about the food? Please don't mind if I sound a little too materialistic. First I said how much you're Shemaim. I spent the whole Friday afternoon alone in that basement. The Shekhinah is there. There's no question about it. This place is Kodesh Kadosh. These people out in the sticks, the schusim they have to be in your huppets. And every year there is like 1,000 years somewhere else. There's no one else there. And they're holding up. What schusim these people have. They're all lovely. There's no words to describe them. But then I did say that, if the Adam doesn't mind, but I might sound a little bit mundane or materialistic or a little bit too much, not from enough for you guys. I said, I did like the food. Please. I really did. And then I said the magic words. I said, I know what good food is. My wife is the best cook in the whole Lakewood. Boy, did I get the ladies on my side. They all started clapping. I said the right thing. I said, that was it. Now I want to tell you something. When you're at the Sheva Brachas, and the guy gets up, the host, whoever it is, and he says a nice word about his wife, watch all the ladies go Meshuggah. Am I right? They all start clapping. As soon as the guy says something nice about his wife, they all take it personal. Isn't it true? Because, Chazal say, Nashim umay saying b'fnei atzma. You say what? You want them all. He knows how to, he appreciates his wife. That's the way to go. Anyway, now you heard. Where am I up to? The Mishkan. the Mishkan, the ladies, I want to tell you, respecting ladies. Now I got to tell you, didn't get involved in this stuff. But respecting your wife. Zong Chazal. You want to make it? People call me out with panusa. I say, what's that some shalom bias? You want panusa? Zong Chazal. Tisyakru l'shaysaychu. Ki heichel l'tisashru. Respect your wives so you'll get rich. Did you hear that? Now Chazal say, Kosher zilusa di yitza mi de gabra. You know when you hang a woman, that's chayv skila. No, not, yeah. When you chayv skila, there's different rules. Great. Different rules with ladies, because you have to be, her respect is a big thing. When you give a lady malchus, it's, there's different halachas. By the way, if you get bezyonis, I just taught this to my Talmidim. This is not shaykh. If somebody's about to get malchus, 39 whacks, you get malchus, you gotta be a real nasty guy. That means they warned you not to do it, to eat that tray for food, or put on the shatnez, or whatever it is. They warned you, and you said, I'm doing it anyway. They told you, you're gonna get whacked. You're half dead. Malchus is not a joke. And the lashes, 39 lashes, and you say, before you do it, you say, what happens if an accident happens? Or you run away? You're getting all flustered. You putter from the whole malchus. You know that? You get whacked, you're almost dead. Malchus is like me. You almost killed a guy. Malchus is not a joke. He's putter from the whole business. Why? Because of the embarrassment suddenly. When a soldier goes to battle, he better go to the toilet early, because things are going to happen. Because people are petrified that these things happen, accidents. If that happens, the Bezin says, no 39 whacks, go home, you're free, we're not touching you. The embarrassment? Bezyonis? A guy runs away, he looks like a coward. He ran away? It's embarrassing? No, we're not touching you. You know what a message that is for all of us? You got some embarrassment in your life? No hospital. Did you hear that? When you get bezyonis, you should run after bezyonis. Get embarrassed. No, easy. Don't turn yourself into who knows what. But if you happen to get embarrassed, you're saving yourself from so much misery in your life. How people should appreciate, and I advise the Olam to go out of town. Now look, I'm going to give a shmooze about leaving Lakewood. I'm speaking about this all the time lately. I think I should hold myself a little bit, not get carried away with this, but at least a little bit I should address it. Oh, beautiful. Wow. I would like to say that going out, if anybody wants to know the Shittas, let's get the Shittas straight. I like to be controversial. You want her to she go out or not? I once spoke in public in front of 150 top-notch Bachrim, and I said, you got to go out. Leave Lakewood and go out. Whoa, boy, oh boy, oh boy. There was a younger man standing there, and he let me have it. Now the truth is, before I said it, I say 200 times, don't you dare close your Gemara. Don't listen to the word I'm saying. I'm talking about 30 years from now. That's all. Get that straight. Don't you dare start going out. You'll lose everything. Say, Mendel, I don't care if you call me all the names in the world. I'm maskim. I want you to do that rather than listen to what I'm saying. Now, you're going to leave your Gemara and be a Gansaskin out of your mind? Learn! And don't go somewhere else. Or let's still learn where you're good and goodbye. Only me. However, later on. Okay, I always say that. And I'm always kicking out Bachram and say, don't listen to this stuff about Zikaram. However, I have to put seeds. I check this out. I don't do things on my own. I speak to Gedolei Yisrael before I do things. I'm in touch. Big time. That's why I have so much confidence, because I check out what I do. I don't just talk like because I want to say it. I was told, don't worry about the controversy. It's a mitzvah gedola to get this out to the public. Going out for Klal Yisrael is the best thing you can do for your life. Reb Aaron Kotler, Reb Nosson Wachbeigel told me, Zatzal, that Reb Aaron was mabtiach, anybody who goes out, his kids will be okay. And after 5 years in Lakewood, out! Where are you going to go? You're going to build yeshivas. You're going to be in a kollel. Now the mashgiach said, you don't have to close your Gemara. Who said? No way. You're going to go to a kollel and learn there instead of here. Rav Leizer Per. I just spoke to Shlomo Per about this. So he was building kollel international. And Nosson was not shy. Cherry Hill, Manalapan. Where else did they go? All over the place. Australia, Los Angeles. I was in Los Angeles. And I came to the kollel. The same guys that were in Lakewood, they were different humans. They were learning Basma Rabba, but not in Lakewood. They were the happiest people in the universe. I was in Australia. I saw the Lakewood kollel in Australia. It's unbelievable. The simcha level skyrockets because you're alone, you're away, and they need you. You're not just another person. Now, before I say one more word, there's nothing wrong with staying in Lakewood for the rest of your life. Don't you dare listen to me. You're crazy. Leaving Lakewood? Out of your mind. You know, Chazal say, give me all the money in the world. I'm not leaving a Makam Torah. Stay in Lakewood. Don't you dare listen to Mendel. Out of your mind. I'll tell you one reason why I'm saying that. Because I didn't go. After Reb Nosson begged me, Reb Schneier begged me, Reb Yehuda Jacobs begged me, Rishel was quoted, Lakewood is a transient community. So I didn't leave. So I'm going to be Makatrig on the guys here. I'm going to stick up for them. I'm going to say, no, you all guys stay where you are. I'll tell you another reason why I'm so much in the air. You know, I'm famous for being the biggest hypocrite of the biggest shakran. I'm the shakran hador. I'm the biggest liar that ever existed. A minute ago, I'm saying, what? Hey, Mendel, make up your mind. And I want to tell you a big insight. I will speak a little more about this Zikr Rabin, but I don't know how much I should get involved. But to some degree, I definitely want to give it some. But I'm going to repeat: being unhappy with what you're doing and saying this is b'diavad is the churban of the universe. That's the pits. I don't care what Zikr Rabin is. I don't care if they're all the Gdalim and all the guy around says you gotta go. Yeah. Listen, if you can't go, and you're not going so fast, the mitzvah of being happy with what you're doing, never call your present situation b'diavad. Whatever you're doing is lechatchila de lechatchila. With all the problems, you're a bacha? Good! I like being a bacha. Chovos HaLevavos. But isn't it better to be married? No. I have to try to get married. But right now I'm a bacha. I like being a bacha. Go ahead. Those Yingalite Nebuch, they don't sleep at night. So you have to deal with a lady, then your buttons are going to stop popping with her food. Baruch Hashem, I'm a bacha. After they eat all that food, the ladies make you crazy. Nothing like a bacha. Or a single lady. If you're a single girl, nothing like being single. It's great. To be a married lady. Oh no. You have to deal with a husband. Nuts. Most of those guys are, Baruch Hashem, I'm single. That's the way the Eibishter wants you to think. That's right. She should keep looking for a shidduch. And as soon as she gets married, or he gets married, they have to say, Baruch Hashem, I'm not single. I'm married like everyone else. Whew, those single guys are nuts. But they're still going around. I'm quoting him. That's right. I'm building on him. Everything works like that. Where you are is Kodesh Kadosh. Where you are now, that's the holiest spot. Don't, I want to be this, I want to go to Dallas. I like Lakewood. Don't give me no Dallas schmallis. I want to go to Kalamazoo, Michigan, Sioux City, Iowa. I want to stay where you are and be happy. I'm not going nowhere. I'm molasses like everyone else. Mendel Rabinowitz used to tell the guys are molasses. Nobody moves. Okay, now look. So that's Aleph. No, never, ever, ever will I say things that are not Negeya. But I'm starting to get momentum. I'm getting reports of people are doing things all over the world, thanks to me. Because they know I go for Zikra Rabbim, and things are happening. And I must cater to those people. But everyone else, don't listen to me. I'm joking. You could listen too. And I'll tell you why. First of all, what got into me is like this. First of all, there's a Rebbe in, there's a Rebbe in Yerushalayim. His name is the Mvakesh Emuna Rebbe. I adore him. He once saved me. He put out Svarim. He's delicious. I love him to pieces. He's a Shomer Emunim from that. He's a Malach. He doesn't sleep. He spends 40 weeks of the year, 40 Shabbosim of the year, out making a tish in every city in Eretz Yisrael that he could find that they use it. Be mechazik. He doesn't want Hasidim. He's like, give me Hasidim. I need Hasidim. What's Hasidim? Let's be mechazik each other. Oh. Go out, you're starving. You know, Mayor Hershkowitz told me. What's the matter? You need Haskama to go out. You need Haskama. He spoke to him just recently. You think Nishtanu Ativim. He was going berserk. I spoke to Rebella Bell. Whoa, of course. Go out. I spoke to, what's his name? The Rav of Ezra's Torah. Rav Stern. Father, what's up? You out of your mind? You shouldn't go out. Who made it? What's going on here? It's a bubble. People are losing sight of it. Of course, they need you. How could you? Anyway, I just sit here. You know what siyata d'shmaya you get when you go out? Your self-esteem skyrockets. Your shalom bias. Who has time to fight? You're out helping everybody. Your wife is busy admiring you. But you look what her husband does. I'm going to tell you a story. I may have said it before. It's a mitzvah to hear the story. When you're living alone, let's be mechazik each other. Oh, I got to go to his simcha, and you go to mine. We have to be mechazik. And everyone's busy spending a lifetime doing chesed, going each other's chasen, and they need chizik. You want to get chizik? Go out and help Klal Yisrael. You'll get more chizik than all your relatives put together. And here comes a story. Here comes a murder story. I heard it from the horse's mouth. I was standing right there on the telephone. Standing right here in my office. And this lady, I was on the phone with. I know the family. The father does for Klal Yisrael. Her daughter's Vart. Her daughter's Vart. She gets on the phone. Her daughter's Vart. Middle of the Vart. Her husband gets an emergency phone call. He was Makarba, a teenager, a bacher. And he was in a ski accident in Binghamton. And he's in a coma, and it looks like it's Hashem Yirach. He drops his daughter's Vart, jumps into the car, goes 4 hours. I don't know how long it takes to get to Binghamton. An icy cold Binghamton. He comes there, and there's the kid laying. He's come out. It's over. Hashem Yirach. He was Makarab, this kid. And there's the kid's father. And the kid's father had never put on tefillin in his life. The kid goes over, this Yid that I know goes over to the father. And he says, come, let me put on phylacteries. Anybody knows what that is? Phylacteries. Phylacteries. We know that. Phylacteries. Put on phylacteries. It's tefillin. He puts on his pair of tefillin one time. As soon as he put on those phylacteries, the boy woke up and had a refuah shalem. Now, who told me this? The wife. The ladies, they're the ones that, my husband, we need him home, and my daughter, that's her own tanaim. No. She didn't sound like that at all. She was glowing with pride. Look at my husband. At his own daughter's thing, he saved the life. He goes out. The daughter is kvelling. My father did in my tanaim. He went out for Klal Yisrael, he saved the life. They were given a chinuch that the other guy goes first. They're so proud of it. It makes you feel better than all the chizik you can get. You go to his chasana and dance in the middle, make him happy. Oh, you missed his. Oh, you can't do that. You have bein v'chaveri. You have to be everyone with bein v'chaveri. You go for Klal Yisrael. You're raised with this concept. You're a different person. Rabbi Aaron Cutler went to White Plains. He came to America. There was only one title in America, White Plains, and White Plains was about to fall apart. And they had Gedolei Yisrael in that place, giving shiur, but it was over. It was like, Rabbi, you want to give a shiur? Yep, I'm ready to come. You ready to make the money? No problem. That, they didn't hear from anybody. They had people there who knew Kol HaTorah Kula. Gedolei, I don't want to say the names. Not Shaykh. That they're not ready to do. Money? Nah. Give a shiur. Yeah. Talmidim, Yishma. Go out, knocking on doors. Who said yes? Rabbi Aaron Cutler said yes. Rabbi Aaron Cutler did not live for himself. He lived for Klal Yisrael. Selflessness. That's where Lakewood comes from. Rabbi Aaron wasn't afraid. Do you know how much bizyonis he went through? You know who he was? A Malach Hashem Tzvokis. The world has no idea who he was. Rabbi Aaron. You know how the Satmar would cry like a baby? You know who the Satmar was if he cried? Oh. The Satmar was, you know, the Malach Elikim, he was a list. Rav Hutner went to see him, and he asked him, what do you want to see me for? He said, you can tell the whole world, you saw that too, you know, this type of guy with his triangle and everything, with the long pays, you'll be able to say, I met him too, to broaden your, you know, I saw him, you know, I'm another guy on your list of all the interesting people to meet. I'm joking. But he said something, that's where the story goes. You know, Rav Aaron, you know, Rav Hutner said, you know the story with Noach, why the lion, he didn't feed the lion in time, so the lion gave him a whack, and Noach was limping. He walked out of the table limping. Why did he give him a whack? He gave him 5 minutes late. What's the big spiel? He came a little late. You know, Noach fed all the animals in the table. And when he was a little late for the lion, so he got a potch from the lion, gave him a whack. Why did he leave? Oh, he came 5 minutes late. No, because the Welt says that was the last lion in the world. That's a different lion. So Rav Hutner told the Satmar, I want to do the Amolige Rebbes. You know who these Chassidish Rebbes was? You have no mussig. They were giants. The Heilig Original, forget it. These Malachim one after another. They were so beyond the Madregas that they were zeichen to. Rabbi and Kalina, you have any idea who they were? The Balatanya, these people were giants in Mezrich and Magid. There's no words to describe them. Like every one of them, they were not shy. The stories about them, the Ruach HaKodesh. You know, Baal Shem HaKodesh walked the Dnieper River on a gartel. You know that. It's a true story. It's a true story. He was a Malach Elikim, Baal Shem HaKodesh. Anyway. From the old Rebbes, it's pretty much gone. I mean, what we used to have with them. So Rav Hutner said, I wanted to see the last lion. You're the last lion of all the old Rebbes. That's the way they tell us. That's what they... The Satmar was a class by himself. No one came near him. Reb Yeilish, and Reb Yeilish, when Reb Aaron was nifter, was crying like a baby. I was there. And this is Chassidim, and this is Litvakis. He was crying like a baby. Reb Aaron! You know, Reb Yehuda Jacobs told me about Reb Aaron. You can't imagine what that man was. You know that the Scranton Rosh Yeshiva made a remark. They were playing basketball, and Reb Aaron passed by. And they dropped the ball. It was over. Game's over. Reb Aaron passed by. They were learning Lakewood, you know. He just passed by. Reb Aaron didn't want to hurt anybody. It's over. So they asked, why'd you do that? Why? He understood the American boys need the basketball. But he said, you couldn't do a Dover Gashmi in front of that person. You know who he was? Reb Aaron. I think Reb Chaim Moses said, every 2 weeks, we met him, a young man, every 2 weeks there was a new person standing in front of him. He was steiging when he came to Slobodka. You know, they had geniuses there. The Pop Kepelach, Rab Rudiment, Rab Yakin. They had these giants too, all over. Reuben Grzovsky. What Slobodka had, Rab Hutner. Rab Aaron was everybody knew he's the undisputed by far bigger than anybody. As soon as he walked in, they said, oh, step back. I heard this from an eyewitness. Everybody knew this is the future Gadol Hador. And you know that once the yeshiva was empty, and there was nobody there except for a baron. I heard this from Nothen, this meister. And so they said, the altar was being, as manim, nobody's here, where's the Elam? The altar says, is Aaron Cutler here? He says, yeah. We don't need more than him. The whole yeshiva is worth just him. They knew, this man's taking the whole Torah in America. To see them, the Bacchus, everybody, it's all him. He, El Mali Rabar, Nishtaka Torah me America, for sure. He was beyond, and everyone respected him, and he fought under Welt. You know, Reb Gershon Lieberman was an Avardige. He recognized greatness. When Rabban came to London, and he slept by Schneider's, I heard, and Yeshiva slept over there. So there's a picture of them. It's right here of Reb Gershon walking behind Rabban like a little child. He was crazy over him. He asked, they gave us. He was going to sleep. That's it. He was going to sleep. They gave him a place to sleep. He says, please. Rabban was leaving. He said, please don't change the linen. I want to sleep on Rabban's linen. Reb Gershon. You know, Reb Gershon was, forget it. Rabban, forget it. There was no, by the way, Reb Talman Goldberg was a Gadol B'Yisrael Mamish. They say after Rav Henkin came in, he was like a giant. He was on the Novandiga from the Cossacks. He was from the Altas Kazakhstan. He said that the Alta was not alive anymore. So he became a chassid of Rabban. And he said Rabban Cutler reminds him of the Alta from Novandiga more than anyone else. Is that interesting? Anyway. So, Rabban Cutler said, I'll knock on doors. And he got bezyenis. You know what somebody said about him? They never saw somebody who's so afraid of everything, and he does everything he's afraid of. Anyway, Rabban Cutler said, after 5 years, you'll leave Lakewood. Did you hear that? 5 years out. Well, Laser Pear says, but I want to learn. He says, fine, but not by me. You'll learn somewhere else. And Reb Nothen held that any place you go, just learn. Who tells you to stop learning? But do it somewhere else, where there's Jews that have nothing, and make that Torah. And the power of just learning in another place will be mashpia on the whole area. And Reb Nothen said, if you were there for 2 years and not one Jew came to even look at the place, you were successful. That's the sheep. So you're not leaving learning. Anyway, I said enough. Now I went to Dallas to at least do something like this. Now again, I want to say, stay where you are and don't listen to me. But a lot of people, whoever goes out, Reb Nothen used to tell me, you got to do something. You got to do. He used to check me. Oh, you got everybody. There's a famous story. I don't know if it's not true or not. One of the biggest guns in Klal Yisrael, who's a world big name, who's by himself and he learns. And he's big. Well, I don't want to talk more about him. I don't want anybody to know who it is. But he's super giant. And the story goes, Reb Nothen says, what are you doing? Where are you Talmidim? What are you doing? And they say Reb Nothen wiped the floor with him. And I believe the story because I remember the way he dealt with me. He must have his tongue. You got to do something. A human being needs to give. You have to give, right? I do this a lot. The more the better. You got to do. You got to move. You got to let the world hear from you. Don't be afraid. Now I'm going to tell you something which is much more important than what I said till now. The reason why people don't go out is another psula. There's no shitas. You're scared of the world. And believe me, it wasn't easy for me to go to Dallas. Except I'm busy fighting another psula 24/7. Because what if you don't talk? What if they don't like you? What if this? But I'm not the type. You go. And what do I believe if it doesn't work, then you get even moschar. And you have bezyenis, a free. So anybody want to join me? So any kind of doing, I started off with zero. I had somebody mechanech me from Reb Noson's Olam. And he tried to help me out. And I ran after him. You know, you want to know a little secret? You can finish Shas Paiskim. But if you didn't run after Gdolim and hang around the big guns, you're like a doctor who went to medical school and never had internship. You don't know what you're doing. See what? Elamaisa. The books are great, but you have to see it. I hung around big people. That's where I got all my self-esteem, because I know what I'm doing. I spent hours and hours and hours with Kelm, Slobodkin, Avadig, and Chaim Bullet. Mainly those four. And I had a lifetime of research. And this is where I'm holding. Zika Rabin is the sweetest. You know what Brian Kreiser said in Altamira? He said, Amolig Yidden, they would jump out of the grave to do Zika Rabin. You know what the Chovos HaLevavos says for Zika Rabin? Better Zika Rabin than Nevuah. How's that? Don't be such a tzaddik. Go out to the public. You know what Baron said? Now, I heard this from two people. Reb Noson. Maybe I should get out when the going's good. But look, you guys I'll be able to, we'll live with it. I have b'tachon. The reason why the Olam doesn't become what they could become is because they don't go out. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? The guy's learning 25 years in Kayul Bashmada Rabba. He's not going to become what he could become because he's here and he's not somewhere else. Reb Noson told me this, and I was fighting Reb Yehuda Jacobs. I said, what do you mean? What do you mean? But there's some guys that are mamish. He said, yeah, halavai. Right? And I kept begging to certain people I meant that I adore till today. It's not the same. You go out, watch your self-esteem, and you might say nefesh. Look at your baron. Look at Manishtan or Rabbaran and everyone else. He went out. He knocked on doors. And he cared for others. Like Moshe Rabbeinu. Look at the difference between Kodesh and Kodesh Kodesh. How come Kodesh Kodesh, there's a paraychas between them? Rabbi Neresh's whole thing. There's a masach between the other. But paraychas is like much more starker a mechitza. To show you, you're Kodesh and very happy, but you're not Kodesh Kodesh. You missed the boat. Don't think you're in good news. You missed Kodesh Kodesh. You don't miss that. You know what Rabbi Yeshua Liebman said? There's no b'di'evet in Ruchnius. No b'di'evet. Go lechatchila. Now I'm going to add something. You got to add this. Guess who's inside the Kodesh Kodesh? Two little babelach. You could do tiny little things and you're Kodesh Kodesh. You don't have to dafka listen to me to go out. That's what I'm saying. Because Moshe Rabbeinu was the one, Vayar, Vayetz. There's a Arizal, I haven't seen him lately, who says the reason why Moshe Rabbeinu was chosen for his position was because he cared more than anyone else. He was ready to go out and get dirty for the cloud, just like Rabbaran. He was ready to go out. And when they went to the Paro's palace, and Moshe went with all the Sanhedrin, they all chickened out in the middle, and Moshe was the only one that went all the way. That's why in the end, he gave the Torah and they had to step back. We got it. We aim for Mordechai, right? We aim for Mordechai. The big, you aim, but I tiny again and again. Why the Kruvim in there? You could be a little Babela. You could be doing tiny things, and you are Kodesh Kodesh. How? Now let's get to some other stuff. Who believes in Echad HaMamet, Bavad, Shechav, and Lidl Shemayim? Nobody does. If you didn't finish the Masechta, or if you didn't this and you didn't that, Echad HaMamet, you got to chazir at your whole life. Echad HaMamet, Echad HaMamet, Bavad, Shechav, and Lidl Shemayim. Somebody called me up today. Rab Mendel, I want to thank you, guy from Eretz Yisrael, Chassidisha. And he knows my relatives, all the Chassidisha relatives. I want to thank you. Because of you, I appreciate Kelm. I never heard of Kelm. I never heard of Slobodka. I never heard of Nobody. Thanks to you, I like them. And I see they're also good guys. So for that alone, it's Kedai. And I says, I happen to like your Chassidus also. So we became friends. It's an accomplishment, you know. I got another phone call from somebody whose anxiety, his panic attacks went boom. I want to tell you, Rabbi Say, I am not spoiled from nothing. You can work on it, you can do the same thing. Panic, but I can't help it, and I'm always getting it. I had a guy sitting right here, a bacha, who was a nervous wreck since the day he was born. There's no way out of it. And I had him sitting here, and he says, that is Loi Hayu Dvar Me'olam. As I talk to you, you are a normal person. No. The doctor misdiagnosed, you know how old the guy is? He's already 26, whatever. You don't have it. It's a lie. That's what I told him. He calls me up a week later, and he tells me, Mendel, you did a good job on me, but I need another boost. I said, what happened? I went over to one of the biggest askanim around, and he said, Mendel told you not to address your issue? He's crazy. This guy's nuts. He told you it's a dinyan? You're going through Gehenna all your life. You're all panicking, you're all this. It's a metzias. This irresponsible. This Mendel is out of his mind. It's irresponsible. How do you talk like that? So I told him, if you like that guy, go to him. I don't mind. I got enough chassidim. You go to him. Fine. Go to whoever helps. Is this guy helping you? He said, no. He said, did I help you? Big time. He said, I never felt so good in my life. For a week, he says that he davened a ma'ariv that he became a new person while he was under me. Soon as he went to this big asking, so I said, but you got to see a therapist. I said, have you seen? He said, yeah, about 6 of them. Did you get better? Each therapist made me a notch worse than the guy before. So I think you got to go like me. Something tells me. You hear what's going on? You want to hear another Maisa? I had a shalom bias issue. Have a good job. You can take a whole stack of them. How about the Hebrew stuff? You want to take that? And this stuff, take this stuff. Take as many as you can. Whoever gives out my stuff is Mubtaghlai Alam Haba Yeshuas. There's give me a whole stack of them. Hey, anybody want my son's sefer? You're invited to take, or you can pay whatever you want. Okay. Now, the exciting news. This is Gavaldik, Rabbi Galamix. This is it's all good stuff. All the stuff is good. By the way, my favorite stuff is vitamins. Now I shouldn't speak so much. He did? Really? He's a smart man. I'm not going to argue with him. I'd be Barba Machlekes be Israel. I think I'm going to agree with him. I'm agreeable. He holds like that. I have to go with him. His sheet, Base Hill, you possibly like them because they like Shammai sheet before theirs. So I also like if that's Biederman's sheet. Make sure that's a sheet. I'm joking. Of me? Yeah, there is. Big picture. I need a picture of him too. L'chaim, it's Adar Rabbi say you got it. Oh. L'chaim. I want to tell you what I said when I was in Dallas. Take my stuff. Rabbi said, don't leave me with all this stuff. Take the stuff. How much are you going to take? Taking a whole stack of them? You take the Hebrew, the this. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to see the Rav. Buha! I'm so happy about your mother. That's shy. I'm on a high. Give them all out. And take the Hebrew ones with these. Take a lot. Stack them in there. Yeah, take them all. Take a stack of them. And this, they're all different. Everyone's different. Everyone's Givaldi. It's not Shaykh. Take a stack of them. And the Eibishter will help you. What about the... Anyway, let's continue. Here comes a shalom bias problem. It comes to me with shalom bias. The husband got on the phone. And I told the guy, Rafal, it's a pleasure to see you. Tell Baruch he's going to have Gan Eden. Yes, Hashem. Good news. Only good news. Take care. Now, what I want to tell you, the guy got on my phone and he cried about it. What they are doing to each other, this husband and wife. Wow! They know how to give it. I mean, he showed me all the texts. I don't have anything to do with his wife, but him, I know very well. Oh, boy. I don't want to repeat. She has, lo yareya shor kareya, she's got new ones, better ones. She outdoes how crazy she holds him to be. And he, he's no pushover. So they fight. It's going on for years now, but killing each other. I spoke, whatever. I try to, people are involved. What do you do with them? It's a war. And anyway, so the first time he got on the phone with me, I told him, you're having against Yeshua. The next day, he showed me that. By the way, he saves all her poison pen texts. He saves them, and he chazes them. He chazes them. Now she called me this, now she called me that, and he calls me up every time with the latest report of how she did him in this way, did him in that way. I want to say, sometimes that's a person's chiyus. You don't chap. I'm warning the Elam. Certain people love fighting. And what do you do if she stops fighting? Do you think I'm joking? I know a guy here in Lakewood. His father and his mother used to kill each other all their lives. And when his father was nifta, he told his mother, Ma, now you become a mensch. You marry somebody that you like. This wasn't a shitter from day one. What? How dare you talk like that? My husband was my life. He told this to me. How can you talk? It's a chutzpah. My husband, all I have in my life was that wonderful husband. Did you hear such a ma'aseh? She don't chap. By the way, the son also, he's much better, he improved, but he's got issues. Some people don't know how to be positive. It's not in their dictionary. They don't chap. And maybe try a different model. You know who did this? The first king of Prussia, of Germany. His name was Kaiser Wilhelm I. Kaiser Wilhelm I wanted to marry a certain lady, and they don't allow it because she didn't have royal blood. So he had to marry a cousin who had royal blood, who was, the way the book describes, a machshefa, a witch, first class, an angry, nasty witch, but she had royal blood. So he had to marry her. He hated her. She hated him. He hated her. I don't want to say what a novel guy is. Forget it. But that's how he lived his life until she died. And then he went berserk. He became an oval. He cried. And all the people in the court, they said, "Is this guy okay?" This is a true story. What's with you? Now, people don't understand they want to be, now you got a different excuse to be negative. You don't chap that you want to be negative, you just have to find the right excuse. Now she, Amona, oh, now I could really cry. You know, that's not a joke. It's a Maisa Gemara. Gemara in Mlikood. Who is it, Rab Chia? No, not Rab Chia. One of the Tanaim. This lady lost her son. She cried, she cried like crazy. Gamliel said, she lived in the Chutz. Tell the lady, pipe down. It's way overboard. You're supposed to cry 30 days and then you're supposed to go on. No, she said. How could you say such a thing to me? My son, I lost him. No. And she cried and she cried and she cried. And he warned, stop, you were yetzer crying. It's enough. She didn't listen. She lost the next son. And then she really went berserk. Now she really has a teretz to cry. Losing 2 kids. Now it's legal. Now you can really cry. You shouldn't know of these things, but she cried like a meshuggah. And Rabbi Gamliel is getting upset. What's relate? Tell the lady to stop. Even 2 kids, but she lost 3 kids. And she cries. She keeps crying. I think she had 7 kids. She lost every one of them. And then Rabbi Gamliel says, go buy her some tachrichim. She's dead. And she died the next day, whatever. That's a Gemara. You cry for no reason, you're going to have to continue crying. Watch out! Don't ever cry. Never! My Rebbe, Rebbe Isaac, told me, I wish before Yom Noraim, I wish I could cry. It doesn't go. Because you got to work it. Okay, don't worry. I still believe in crying on Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, I believe it. And Tishpab. Otherwise, keep me out of that sugya. And I'll tell you why. Because if people enjoy negative, you have to be extra careful with anything negative. But it's a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Tishpab, Adkan. You know, maybe Adam Kasha is nifta. I once saw a big tzaddik. His daughter was nifta. I saw him cry for a minute, and boom, you can tell he was controlled. That's it. His daughter was a mother of 4 kids. I saw the way he was nifta. It was my shvager, Matzah Feder, tzaddik Yisei. He had a shimush, the Belzer Rebbe. He knew what he was doing. He cried. I remember how. Adkan. No more. You got to be besimcha. You want to do something for the neshama? Be besimcha. You cried enough. Yetzer. Don't get carried away with those mitzvahs. Anyway. So, the koiches hanefesh of people said, this guy is busy with his wives. He's talking to his wife's, all his negative stuff, and why are you saving it? That makes no sense. Something going on here. Anyway, I gave them a bracha. And the next day, he told me himself, something got into me. I started helping in the house. Something got into her. She was texting him, you're acting so different. And for the first time, she wrote something without any garbage. She was nice. That was my bracha. And it lasted for a week of marital bliss until they went to the therapist. And the therapist opened up a can of worms. And here we go again. And now the guy keeps calling me and everything gets weird. You don't chap their rules. People who you don't chap that he likes negative. He feels comfortable there. Not push it. You got to go to war. You got to fight your whole life. Not one. Rabbi Miller says, not one negative. Never verbalize a negative emotion. You have a yitzhak. He's so smart. I'll give you excuses. Now I really, this happened. You always find another reason to cry. I'm going to laugh. You have to go the opposite. You have to laugh no matter what. There is a Chassidish Rebbe in Yerushalayim. I'm not going to say his name. He's a star. He's almost as good as me. He's very good. He has a big shul. They love him. He's a big name. He may be bigger than me. If it's possible, I don't know if it's shy to be bigger than me, but I'm joking. They, Chassidim told me, he gave out cake. I was there once on Yom Tov. He said, whoever's going to be b'simcha, I'm giving you cake. Got to be b'simcha. He's my type. Oh, he's a goyim. He speaks a lot. The Adam loves him. He's a tzaddik. He's up my alley. And he said, when his mother was nifta, his reaction was, woo. I mean, I don't want to say what he did, because the Adam will not understand it. But I'm just telling you, he didn't go crying like a bit. That's for sure not. I don't want to say. But it was very extreme in the positive direction. Extreme in the positive direction. I wouldn't even do that. But when people have to work on the midas, they have to go extreme. They might even be a little crazy. Dafka dance. Dafka. Not your mother, okay, easy. But a person has to understand. It's enough. 8:59. That's enough, no? 5 more minutes? 1 more minute. 1 more minute. Want the next story that happened? I have one after another. Panic attacks disappearing. I just got a phone call now. Panic attack disappeared. I gave a guy a bracha. It's on the machine. He didn't leave. You gave me a bracha, you become a chassan. 2 weeks later, he met the right girl. It's done. It's not shaykh. You could do the same thing. Just talk positive. Call yourself a gadol. Do it. Don't worry about it. You're a gadol. That's it. I paskin. Bring rayas. Spend time on this. Work on it. Work on holding from yourself. And don't be afraid of the world. And fight all those negative messages. Every one of them. Anybody gives you a hint that there's something wrong with you, he is an official take the sugar. I don't care what he says. You're not capable of absorbing that stuff. Or your own thoughts are telling you, why did I do this thing? No! You are the best husband, the best wife. Shita. Bashita. You know what Shita is? Shita people they put blinders like a horse. A fed. You got to be a fed. I hold and I'm not moving. And stay like that. You'll get Olam Abba for that. Maybe still have certain nachas. Because all the Yetzer Hara playing shtick. All the Yetzer Hara. I got in touch with somebody today, or yesterday, I think it was. Something terrible just happened. I don't want to go into details. Some people are in trouble. People that I know. Give me a bracha. I already was maftiach. Out of the woods! Without a suffix. It's a joke. Now this guy knows that matzah. Mendel. No. That's a terrible matzah. What do you mean a terrible matzah? It's Gavaldi. It's off the hook. And this thing really looked serious. And I laughed at the whole thing. And he said, here he goes again with your positivism. You know, I say, my friend, to do what you're doing is easy. Anyone could do that. To say that it's terrible. You want to cry some more? Go cry. I don't want to tell them in a Varda Gabir. You do that because you're stam negative. So here's another excuse to be negative. That's the truth. I wouldn't say that to anybody. But that's the truth. People like. Now, where's my negativism going to be chal? It's got to be chal somewhere. I got to have a chalais negativism somewhere. It's got to be chal. Where am I going? Oh, see? Oh, it's terrible. Now it's looking for a makam shvisa. It's looking for to be chal somewhere. So now, then it's kadra daitoi. Here's what to cry about. So now I told him like this. What I do is harder, you know that? Oh. What I do is L'Shem Shemayim. You're L'Shem Shemayim when you kvet. What are you doing that for? You need to do it? Well, you have to be realistic. Oh, yeah. You ever hear of Bטחון? That's not realistic, huh? Yeah, but it's hard to believe. That's what Bטחון is. Rav Solomon says, where the seichel stops, Bטחון begins. It's not supposed to make sense. It has to make sense. It's not the seichel atibi. You ever have Kriyas Yamsuf? You're always talking about it and you're davening. Why? To get you to think different, not to be a little wild. Yes. I'm one of those, guys in the sky. Anyway, I said, when I say this, I get a mitzvah of having b'tachon. I don't care what's going to happen. You get a mitzvah. Why should you give up a mitzvah? You don't get a mitzvah. I get the biggest mitzvah in the world. B'tachon. Gan Eden screams, Shmoish Rabbah, and says, give me tzaddikim, I don't want Rishaim. And which tzaddikim? No. You know this firm, they say, the Ramchal says, if you always think of B'tachon in this world, it's going to pull you out of Gehenna. It's a joke, B'tachon. The Shem Amunim says, it's Mamar Tikunai. All your friends are going to be in this galgal and stones and animals, and you? Why? You weren't better than them? You had B'tachon. Your B'tachon works over time when you're in the next world. It's going to pull you away from all the bad malachim, all tzaras. Out again, Ramchal says. B'tachon, it's a mitzvah, chaparei. Every opportunity, something bad happens, I say it's nothing. But how do you know it? I want the mitzvah. I just want the mitzvah. You want to do a mitzvah or you want to kvetch around? Enjoy kvetching. People enjoy kvetching. So after a while, it's a habit, and you become a rebel. People like to rebel. I love to rebel. Oh, yeah? I far few in Novhardok used to do this, by the way. I never saw it, but my friends noticed Reb Gershon once, and Reb Chaim Halper, and faf, mitzaftzef, in Hebrew? Mitzaftzef, not faf tuchum. You're not scaring me, no, sir, Bubby. I tell it to people when they cry to me about the peklach. No, yes, no, I say it's nothing. I just said it today. And you think I'm a bluffer? I mean business. The most impossible situation. Lady called me up. Oh boy. I was in the middle of a seder. I couldn't. She described her husband, what he's going through. He has this, and he has that, and he's that, and this, and boom, and boom. She was going on and on. Netzach. He really one peck or another. I says, bluff! Nothing's going to happen with this guy. I promise that. I mean it. I'm not this boat from me. You're not scaring me. I'm a Baal B'tachon. You know how much fun it is to be like that? It's thrilling. It's really so. Let them say what they want. You're afraid of Bizyonis. So, who cares? I'm not scared of that stuff. You're going to say, well, see, I'm still in business, even though I've been doing this all the years. I'm always baptiach, left and right. Yes, no, I'm Tacha Gemura. And I do it all the most impossible. Other guys, well, you got to protect yourself, just in case you're wrong. No. I want my mitzvah. You need to protect yourself. What protect? So you shouldn't get Bizyonis? I like Bizyonis. You guys don't hold for me. One chassid less to deal with. I need more chassidim. I have plenty of those guys. I'm doing fine. I need, by the Welt. The guy might not hold from you. So you don't hold from me. That's love it. For me, in the Novhardok world, they say the ultimate Novhardok would have to do things that people should criticize them. Oh, you don't hold for me? That's exactly what I want. Oh, he doesn't hold for me? That's lovely. Who cares? Really, who cares? People are so... I went to Dallas. You don't think I'm worried? Did I do well? I wouldn't admit that I care 2%. If every speech I made, my wife said, how was it? Mighty! And I'm not asking anybody how it was or how it wasn't. I got the mitzvah of going and be mafkia my covet and my time for the Eibishter. I feel like $10 billion. If I ended up being lousy, then I'm going to get 100 times more schar because of the Bizyonis. So it's a good game. I hold the belt from what I did. I advise you all to come with me on Shabbos. We'll go from whoever needs us. We're going out. We're going to bring the Gula Shlema, the call of Mamish.